Okay, so first of all, this is the version that I'm using is actually Revit 2020.2. So so this is the version that we're going to play around with today. So if you guys have another version than mine, I think it's going to be a lot similar. So there is no problem with that, I think. Okay, so with that, we're going to go into our first part of today, which is starting the MEP project. So basically, for those who are new to Revit, you can see here when you start your Revit, this is your starting page of Revit. So we have two parts here for modeling and for family. So if you wanted to create your project or you want to create your project template, this is the part that you're going to work with on the modeling part. So later when we want to create our family, we're going to play around with this part right here. So without further ado, I'm going to create the new project. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on new. And then what's going to happen is that this window will pop out. So this is actually Revit telling us to specify our project template. So whenever you want to start a project, you have to specify your project template. So with project template, what you can do is that you can click on this browse, and then you actually going to have this window right here. This is actually the project template that Revit has provided to us. So for today, I'm going to use mechanical deformatrix.rte, and then I click on open, and then make sure here I click on create new project, and then you can click on OK. Okay, so now let's start on the first part, which is the user interface. So when you first get into the project, so what you will see is that this kind of interface. So I'm just going to show you one by one what we have and the important things that you need to know before you start your project. So first of all, this is your file tab. So if you click on your file tab, what you will see is that pretty much similar to what other software have. So you have your new, open, save as, up until close. Okay, and then as you can see right here, we have architecture, structure, steel system um, up until modify. So this is what we call a tab. Okay, so this is our tab. So if like us, we are more concerned on the MEP part. So what will happen is that we're going to play around a lot in this system tab. Okay, so in this system tab, what we have is, so for example, you see here we have HVAC, fabrication, mechanical, plumbing and piping. This is all what we call a panel. Okay, this is your panel. Okay, and then whatever that you see inside here, for example, I have my duct, air terminal, mechanical equipment and so on. This is what you call a tool. Okay, so I repeat, this is your tab, this is your panel, and inside here is your tool. Okay, next, we also have our quick access toolbar. Okay, some of you, if you guys notice, you actually have your quick access toolbar up here, but you can always make it show below the ribbon here, and then it will be pop out here. I personally like to have my quick access toolbar to be here. Okay, so this is a quick access toolbar. So whatever tools that you see here is actually just a shortcut from whatever tools that we have in here. So this is what everything is going to be used repeatedly. So they have the option to actually put it in the quick access toolbar. Okay, so now we move on to this properties panel. Okay, so what does the properties panel have? So basically, it contains all the information that you have regarding the things that you are seeing. For example, right now, when I start my project, okay, I did not have anything in my project. So as you can see, this is my drawing window. My drawing window is currently empty. What I only have is my elevation view here. Okay, this 4 dot symbol is actually my elevation view. Okay, so when I have nothing on my drawing window and I do not click on anything, the properties panel will show the information and properties that I have regarding the floor plan that I am seeing. Okay, so for example, if I create a new pipe here, okay, and then I click on the pipe, so now the properties panel will show the properties of the pipe that I have selected. So basically what you need to understand about properties panel is that it will show you the information and properties of the things that you are selecting. If you do not select on anything, the properties panel will only show you the properties of the floor plan or any view that you are seeing right now. Okay, so that is on properties. Okay, next we have our project browser. So what do we have in our project browser? Basically is everything regarding the project. So in your project browser, you have your floor plan, you have your ceiling plan, 3D view, elevation, your schedule if you have created one, your sheets, your family, your group up until your punya Revit link. Even so, if in your project, somewhere in your project, you decided to make a rendered image, you can save your rendered image and then it will pop up in your project browser. If you create a panel schedule later, you will see that it will be listed in your project browser as well. So basically, project browser is the tree on everything that you have in your project. Okay, and then the next important thing that I wanted you guys to know is these things that we have down here, which we call view control bar. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we have in our view control bar. So I'm just going to show you what I think is the most important thing and relevant to my session. So first we have our scale here. So this is the skill that we have. So later as we go along the project, I'm going to show you how does this work. And then next we have our our detail level, sorry. So detail level, basically we have 3 detail level: coarse, medium, and fine. So basically like this pipe, right, that I did earlier. So here I use medium. So medium will only show you one line. So same goes for coarse. But when you make it into fine, you will see that you will start to have a double line which indicates more on the pipe. And then the next thing is our visual style. So here I have hidden line. So if I make it into shaded, you will see that they will have some sort of color. And then there is a lot more. You are the wireframe and consistent color and so on. So for me, I personally like to use shaded. Okay, so that is on the very first part, which is our user interface. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and link my Revit. So basically, in our tab right here, what we also have is the insert tab. So in this insert tab is the tab that you will go when you wanted to actually bring in information from another software or another file. So let's say for us basically MEP personnel, what we do is that whenever we want to start our project, usually we will have the initial model from the architect. So this is when you're going to use the link Revit. So first, I'm going to just go ahead and delete this first. Okay, so there's one thing that I forgot to do at the beginning of my session earlier. So this is the common mistake that I always do, and I want to remind you guys not to repeat my mistake, which is actually to go ahead and save your file first. This is something that I really oftenly forget to do. Okay, same as you guys can see here, I am forgetting about that thing again. So I'm going to go ahead to file tab and then save as. So first we're going to save as our project. So this one you took project, and then here I can just simply put it into my desktop. So I have a folder here for my Revit Clinic. So I'm going to save it as 3DT underscore RC underscore 01. Okay, so now you can click on save. Okay, so because I'm just replacing my file. So yes. Okay, so when you save, you will see that on top of your Revit here, the name has changed. Okay, so now back into our insert tab. So in our insert tab, like I mentioned earlier, this is where you're going to go, the tab that you're going to go if you wanted to bring in other information from the external file. So could be it is a Revit link, could be it is a CAD file, and so on. Okay, so first thing first, we're going to go into link Revit. So we have here link Revit. So I'm pretty sure for those who are doing this together with me. So you can actually find the data set that I have provided to you and then click on architecture.rvt. Okay, and then we're going to click on open. Okay, so this is the link architecture Revit. So basically, whatever that you see here, you have your grid line, and if you zoom a bit, you will see you have your wall, you have your door, you have your window. This is all coming from the architecture model. This is not yours. If you try to bring your cursor here, you will see that blue frame. And then if you try to click, the properties panel will say this is your link Revit model architecture. Do not think that this is yours. This is just a reference view sahaja. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that first thing first, whenever you bring in your link Revit, what you're going to do is that you're going to click onto the model and then you're going to pin the model first. If you do not click on this pin, what will happen is that you can be mistakenly dragging your model around. So this is something that we do not want to do. So what we can do is that just as a safety measure, what you can do is that you can click on it and then go ahead and pin your model. Okay, as you can see in my floor plan, there is already my architecture view. So if I go into my elevation view, so for example, here I go to my north view. So you can see that it is also appearing in my elevation view. So there is one tool, for those of you who are new to Revit, there is one tool that we call visibility graphic or VG. So I'm going to go ahead and click on VG on my keyboard, and then this will appear. So our Revit link will be listed here. Okay, so if I untick on this architecture.rvt, what will happen is that the link will be hidden. So here we have two levels. So whenever you start a project in Revit, Revit will always provided you with these two levels that we have here. First, we have level 1 at elevation 0 and level 2 at elevation 4000. So what happened is that this is the level that we have. This is the initial level that we have. If I go back to VG and then I click on my architecture, so you will see that they have another level 1, level 2, level 3. This is coming from the architecture level. So this is our level, our own level. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to do the copy monitor option. Okay, so what is the purpose of copy monitor? So copy monitor basically is a tool for you to copy from another Revit link. Okay, so for example, here right now, I wanted to copy the level from architecture model. Okay, so what I can do is that I can go to collaborate tab, and then in this coordinate panel, we have copy monitor. Okay, so there is two things, copy/monitor. I'm going to explain this further later. Okay, so basically what I want to do is that I'm going to click on this copy monitor, and then I go ahead to select link and then bring my cursor without clicking anything. I just bring my cursor to the Revit link until the blue frame appear. Okay, if the blue frame does not appear, you do not click on anything. So just bring until you have the blue frame, and then you just click one time on your mouse. Okay, so if you do that, you will be guided into copy/monitor editor mode, like this one. Okay, so I can repeat it again for you. So go to copy monitor, select link, just bring in the cursor into the view until you have that blue frame, and then you can click one time, and then you will have the copy monitor editor view. Okay, before we go into copying this element, I wanted to show a little bit in this option tool. Okay, so first of all, in copy monitor, you only can copy 5 things. Okay, you can only copy level, grid, column, wall, and floor. Okay, so for each of these 5 elements, level, grid, column, wall, and floor, you have different options. If you see here, additional copy parameter, you can see that for level, the additional copy parameter might be different from the additional copy parameter for column. So before we go down here, I'm just going to show you what we have up here. So what can you do is that, for example, this wall, if you wanted to actually copy the wall, you can always tell Revit. So for example, if in the link file, which is our architecture file, you have a curtain wall, you can always ask Revit to copy and then change the type to be generic 200. Or if you wanted to have the curtain wall to be any other type, you can always click on here. Or if you wanted to not copy the curtain wall, you can always say do not copy this type. Okay, so that is the first option that you can do. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the level. So the additional copy parameter for level, you can see we have offset level, reuse level with the same name, reuse matching level, add suffix, and add prefix. So for example, if I do not make any changes to the option here, I'm just going to click on OK. And then what we can do is that we can proceed to go to copy. So because we are only copying the level 3, because we already have our level 1 and level 2, so I'm not going to tick on this multiple. So I'm just straight away from copy, I click on level 3. Okay, so it's going to process a bit. Okay, so I close the warning and then I can proceed to finish. So what happened is that now you see that this now has become our level 3. Okay, so basically what happen is that Revit will only copy the level 3. Okay, so I'm going to undo this just to show you on what can we do with the option. So for example, if on the option, I said that I want to add prefix. So for example, I put in MEP underscore. So what happened is that if I go ahead and copy, oops, sorry. Dah copy sekejap Okay, so if I go ahead and create the, I click on copy monitor, and then for an option, I put in prefix, MEP underscore, and I click on OK. And then I click on copy this type. So what happened is that if I go to finish, you will see that the copied level will have this prefix of MEP underscore level 3. So if you do not put anything for prefix and suffix, it will copy as per exactly the name that you have in the architecture link. If you decided to have some prefix or maybe some suffix, you can actually put it in your option panel. Okay, so that is how we're going to copy monitor. Okay, so that is how we're going to do copy monitor for our level. So now I'm going to go to the floor plan, and then I'm going to copy monitor for our grid. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead to copy monitor again, select link, and bring in my cursor until I have the blue frame. And then I'm going to go to copy. As per what I said earlier, because for grid, we have a lot of grid. Here, you can always opt for tick on multiple. So multiple, when you click on multiple, you are now able to do a selection box. And then the important thing when you do multiple is that you have to go to the filter first. Okay, you cannot go ahead and straight away click on finish. You have to filter first. Filter, I'm going to just pick on grid. Okay, and then I'm going to click on the finish that we have here. The finish that we have here indicating that you have finished your selection. So I'm going to finish the selection first. And then I'm going to go to copy monitor and then I click on finish. Okay, so now if I go to VG and I untick on my architecture, now you will see that I have my grid line here with me. So this is my grid line that I have copied from the architecture link. Okay, so something that I wanted to show you guys is that if you click on anything that you have copied using copy monitor, for example, this level, you will see that we have the monitoring symbol. Okay, so the thing that you see here, some sort of a heartbeat punya symbol, this is actually your monitoring symbol. Same goes for our grid right here. So this is our monitoring symbol. So what happened with this monitoring symbol? So if I click on this grid, you will see that we have the stop monitoring option. So as I said earlier, for copy monitor, there is two components. First, you copy, and then the second one, you monitor. So for monitor, what will happen is that, so for example, if I click on my grid A here, I have my monitoring symbol. So if throughout the project, I accidentally move my grid. So what will happen is that there is a warning that will pop up. So if you are very immersed into your work and you do not notice about the warning that have been pop up, so you just carry on with your work. Later, what you can do is that you have the coordination review tool. So how to use this coordination review is very much similar to copy monitor. So I go to coordination review, and then I select link, and then I just bring in my cursor here. Sorry, I need to open first my architecture link. Okay, so go to coordination review, select link, and bring in your cursor until you have the blue frame as per what we do with copy monitor. And then you will see there is some sort of a notification that you have here. So the grid has been moved. So what you can do is that you can select the proper action. So for example here, I can modify grid A. So what will happen is that, so as you can see here, my grid A is up there. So if I click on apply, click on OK, so the grid will be located back into the original position. So that is how, so that is the function of the monitoring symbol. Okay, so whenever you do your work, so if you accidentally move or change anything that you have copied earlier, it will be shown in your coordination review other than actually giving you the warning. Okay, so that is on copy monitor. Now we move in into bring in our CAD drawing. So for that, I'm going to go to insert, and then here I have two options for bringing in my CAD drawing. First, I have my link CAD. Second, I have my import CAD. So basically, the outcome of these two tools is the same, which is you're going to bring in your AutoCAD drawing into your project. But there is some differences when you use LinkCAD and when you use import CAD. So I'm going to explain first on the LinkCAD. So for the LinkCAD, what will happen is that every time you open your project, Revit will actually read back your AutoCAD file from the file path that you initially put. So basically, if you use Link Revit, you cannot change the file path or delete the file in your computer. So if you change or you delete, Revit will not be able to actually read your AutoCAD drawing. Okay, but if you use import CAD, Revit will actually engulf your AutoCAD drawing. So which means that if you change the file path or you actually delete the file in your computer, it will not be affecting in your project because it actually have engulfed your AutoCAD drawing. But the only pros is the only cons that you are dealing with when you use import CAD is that Revit, as it engulf your AutoCAD file, of course it will take up the file size as well. So if you use import CAD, your size, your file size of your Revit will actually be increased. So for that, I always go for link CAD. Okay, so for link CAD, I'm going to go ahead and click on link CAD. And then I'm just going to locate my file. So here is my file. I'm going to click on this current view only. So there is very important thing for you to actually click on this. If you do not click on current view only, your AutoCAD drawing will actually be visible to all view, including 3D view. That is something that we do not want to happen. So we tick on this current view only. Colors, so I want my AutoCAD drawing to preserve the color that it has in the AutoCAD. And for layers, I wanted to bring all layers that are in the AutoCAD drawing. And then for import unit, I'm going to go ahead and use millimeter. Okay, and then I click on open. Okay, as you can see right here, my AutoCAD drawing, when it first loaded into my project, the position is not right. So as you can see, the grid line is a little bit not the same as per what we have in our project. So what you can do is that, first of all, you need to understand that whenever you bring in your AutoCAD drawing, defaultly it will be pinned into your project. So I wanted to move the AutoCAD drawing to the correct position. So what I need to do is that I'm going to unpin the AutoCAD drawing first. So you can actually go here and click on unpin. And then you can actually use the move tool for you to actually move it to the correct position. Okay, so now we have it in the correct position. You can go ahead and pin it again. Okay, so that is the wrap for my first session, which is starting the MEP project.